Today is Tuesday, the 10th day of March in the year 2026. Public comment for this morning's meeting will be taken in this council chamber. Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. The city attorney has recommended recusing myself from item 5 since I'm a landlord. And out of an abundance of caution, I'm also recusing myself from items 2 and 14, as my wife's employer has worked with one of the organizations listed in the past.
Okay. Councilmember Rahman.
I just wanted to congratulate Natalie Escora, who was just approved for the ULA Oversight Committee, and I believe she was here with her family. So I just wanted to recognize that she was in the audience. And
come on up so we can see you. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you so much for being willing to serve, and thank you for being out here at 2 different meetings. So thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, good morning.
Yeah.
Hi, 5 and general comment.
All right, you have 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is Clyde, and I'm a member of LA CAN, Los Angeles Community Action Network. I am discussing item 5 in general comment. I'm a renter and live in Council District 14. I want to share my experience with Stay Housed LA program, which educates tenants of their rights, protects tenants from eviction, and keeps individuals and families from becoming unhoused. SHLA workshops are accessible to both virtual and in-person participants across the city of LA, including here in my community of Skid Row, especially where slumlords like Leo Pustilnikov want to evict displaced and banished tenants like me and my neighbors, hoping we do not know our rights or have access to legal clinics. For each month SHLA does not have a contract, approximately 160 tenants will not be represented in evictions. 575 tenants will not receive limited legal assistance. 260 answers will not be filed. Hundreds and thousands of dollars in rental assistance will not be dispersed. 100 workshops will be canceled for over 1,000 tenants. 2,000 monthly tenant navigation services will cease. Anyone who takes the housing crisis seriously, which is a crisis of housing affordability, housing availability, and poverty, must speak and act from a moral place, not a politically convenient place, to keep people in their homes, to prioritize permanent housing, and to stop using criminalization to hide poverty, erase people, and cause a citywide genocide. Also, I'm standing with tenants from the 18 occupied buildings out of 21 buildings purchased by HALA, Hope for an Affordable LA, regarding conditions in the buildings. Our demands are, as they have been for a year now, immediate, on-site, lawful mail delivery for all 18 occupied buildings, no more excuses, and restoration of 24/7 security.
Next speaker.
This is your time is concluded.
Next speaker, please. Speaker, which items would you like to speak on?
Yeah, number 5 in general comment.
You'll have 3 minutes for your agenda items.
Got it.
Oh. I'm sorry, 1 minute for item 5 plus 1 minute of general public comment.
2 minutes. Sounds good. All right. Hi, my name is Jade Ariano, and I'm an organizer with LA CAN, the Los Angeles Community Action Network. I'm discussing item number 5 in general comment. I'm a renter, and I live in Council District 1, and I work in Council District 14. I want to share my experience with the Stay Housed LA program, which educates tenants of their rights, protects tenants from eviction, and keeps individuals and families from becoming unhoused. Stay Housed LA workshops are accessible to both virtual and in-person participants across the city of Los Angeles, including in our community of Skid Row, where slumlords like Leo Pustilnikov want to evict, displace, and banish tenants, our neighbors, members, and volunteers, hoping that folks do not know their housing rights or have access to legal clinics. Housed and unhoused folks in Skid Row constantly deal with the threat of displacement and relentless attempts to gentrify our community. Stay Housed LA is an essential step towards leveling the playing field between landlords and tenants. Anyone who takes the housing crisis seriously, which is a crisis of housing affordability and poverty, must speak and act from a moral place, not a convenient place, and keep people in their homes, prioritize permanent housing, and stop using criminalization to hide poverty, erase people, and cause a citywide genocide. We urge you to vote yes on the Stay House LA program and to stop trying to amend ULA. Do a thorough analysis of the impact that lowering funds will have on all ULA programs before any amendment talks.
1 minute, please.
I am a Stay House LA Language Justice Coordinator and live in CD 14. The Stay House LA program is essential for tenants in the city of Los Angeles. Stay House LA promotes language justice principles through its vital services. Through its website, hotline, workshops, and legal clinic, Stay House LA provides tenants with access to eviction resources in 14 written languages: English, Spanish, Simplified Chinese, Traditional Chinese, Korean, Armenian, Vietnamese, Thai, Japanese, Khmer, Farsi, Hindi, Russian, and Tagalog. Working alongside phenomenal translators and interpreters to support in-person and remote workshops, language service agencies that provide over-the-phone interpretation, and train monolingual and bilingual staff, Stay House LA ensures crucial language access and empowerment for some of the most vulnerable Angelinos. Thank you.
Necesito traducción, por favor. I will be needing interpreting services.
Speaker,
Voy a
would you-
hacer comentario público.
I'm going to be making public comment.
Buenos días a todos y ojalá estén poniendo atención porque siempre me da la impresión de que no nos están oyendo ni viendo.
Good morning, everyone. I really hope you're paying attention because I keep getting the impression that you are neither listening to us or looking at us.
Y esto es un llamado, un recordatorio porque necesitamos justicia para los inquilinos.
And this is a call and a reminder that we need justice for LA residents.
No necesitamos ver más gente en la calle.
We don't need more people on the streets.
Solamente necesitamos, y perdón que se los diga así, necesitamos ponernos a trabajar en conjunto.
We simply need, and sorry to put it this way, but we need to start working together
Y no hacer que el tiempo nos esté comiendo.
and not let time go by.
Creo que se puede hacer por el bien de la comunidad y por la conciencia de ustedes también.
I think we can make this happen for the greater benefit of the community as well as for your own conscience.
No necesito el minuto completo, solamente dar las gracias y sé que lo van a hacer porque ustedes son buenas personas. Bueno, eso es lo que yo pienso y muchas gracias.
I don't need an entire minute. I know that you guys are going to make this happen because you are good people. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Christina Gonzalez, and I am part of Movement Legal, which is one of the legal service providers that's part of the Stay House LA program. I am a renter actually here in the city of LA for many years. I do live in Council District 4. And so I have, fortunately, and sometimes unfortunately, firsthand knowledge of what tenants go through when they are facing eviction. We, as eviction defense attorneys, are in court nearly every day. And it's heartbreaking to see folks that don't have access to legal representation show up to court without an attorney when the vast majority of landlords do have attorneys. Unfortunately, the result is without programs like Stay Housed LA or without access to programs like Stay Housed LA, the vast majority of tenants show up to court, they don't have an attorney, they lose their case. This can happen in a matter of maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Henry Cabrera. I am discussing item number 5. I am an advocate and I live in Council District number 9. I am a legal fellow with California Center for Movement Legal Services. Movement Legal is a legal service provider within the Stay House LA umbrella. In my position, I have seen firsthand the positive impact that this coalition of organization has had on the working class population in LA. In this capacity, I have observed the tremendous need for tenant advocacy and tenant attorneys. Having been raised in the region of South LA, I personally know the struggles many individuals face on a daily basis. Housing should not be an extra burden on them. Everyone deserves housing and an opportunity to fight to remain housed. That is where Stay House LA comes in. Stay House LA gives families hope and the will to continue fighting for what they believe is right. It is about having a home where you can spend the holidays with loved ones. It is about fighting to not lose the only home you have ever known and where generations have lived. Most importantly, it's about creating everlasting changes in housing law.
Next speaker.
Va a tener un minuto por cada de uno de esos.
Mi nombre es Silvia Cos.
My name is Sylvia Cos.
Soy miembro de Chirla y estoy aquí apoyando el programa de Stay House LA.
I'm a member of Chirla, and I'm here to support the Stay Housed LA program,
Y a las organizaciones que dan los servicios.
as well as all the organizations that provide services.
En este momento, nuestra comunidad inmigrante tiene miedo salir a trabajar y ser injustamente recogidos por inmigración.
At this moment, the working community is scared to go to work and be detained by ICE.
La intensificación de redadas ha dejado a muchas familias en una situación de inestabilidad de vivienda.
The ongoing intense raids have left many of us with housing insecurity.
No sabemos si salir a trabajar y arriesgar ser detenidos.
We don't know if we should go to work and risk being detained,
Pagar renta o comprar mandado.
or pay rent, or even buy groceries.
Si nos atrasamos de renta, tenemos el miedo de ser desalojados.
And if we get behind on rent, we fear getting evicted.
Porque a muchos propietarios no les importa lo que nos está pasando.
Most of these landlords do not care about what is happening to us in our situation.
Necesitamos los servicios de Stay House LA.
We need the services that Stay Housed LA is providing.
Urgimos al Consejo que nos apoye en esta situación.
And we urge you to please support us in our situation.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Estoy aquí, ¿verdad?, para pedirles a ustedes, concejales, que extiendan el programa, ¿sí?, que les den fondo al programa de Stay House LA, porque es importante para nosotros como inquilinos.
Yes, I am here asking you, council members, to extend the program as well to allocate funds to Stay Housed LA because it is important to us as the tenants.
Sin ese programa nosotros no vamos a tener orientación de las clínicas, abogados gratuitos.
Without this program, we will not be able to be informed and oriented with the clinics and not have legal representation from lawyers.
Y disculpen la palabra, pero como los criminales tienen abogados gratis y nosotros como inquilinos que pagamos impuestos no vamos a tener.
And excuse the language, but how are these criminals going to have legal representation, but us, the renters, the ones who pay taxes, are not going to have lawyers?
Yo soy inquilina, ya he pasado por 2 demandas gracias al programa que está.
I am a renter, and I have also been through 2 lawsuits thanks to the program that is in place.
Ahora tengo una notificación de 120 días, entonces si me demandan, ¿no voy a tener abogado?
And now I got a notification of 120 days. So am I not going to have a lawyer if they do a lawsuit?
Por eso les pido, es importante que pongan fondos para este programa. Gracias.
That is why I'm telling you it is important to give funds to this program. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gigi Lam, and I'm a directing attorney at Public Counsel. We are part of the Stay Housed LA program. I'm here to urge you to approve the Stay Housed LA contract because this program works. Stay Housed LA has assisted almost 20,000 tenants and achieved a 95% success rate. 55% of represented tenants stay in their home, and others secured favorable settlement, including extra time to move, rent waivers, relocation assistance, and sealed records. If the contract is not approved today, providers will have to immediately stop accepting new cases. On data reporting, the contract requires 2 data points, and providers already submit more than 30. We have no objection to transparency, but we should not be required to hand over confidential client information. Doing so serves no legitimate purpose and puts vulnerable tenants at.
Hi, good morning. My name is Rose. I'm tenant living in Koreatown, Los Angeles. I'm here to urge the City Council to approve the Stay House LA funding contract. In the past, I have experienced landlord harassment. I faced an eviction. It was unfair because I always paid the rent on time. At that time, I was so scared of being evicted, and I didn't know what to do. However, the Stay House LA program helped me to learn about my right as tenant, and its program assists me to find a shelter and transitional housing. Without the Stay House LA program, I would have been living on the street. Many tenants like me need programs like Stay House LA. Please approve the contract today. Also, stop trying to amend ULA. We must have more deeper study about the impact of amendment. That lowering funds, we must protect ULA. Thank you.
I want to start off with the item number 5. As you know, housing stability is one of the most urgent needs facing our communities, especially those who are pushed into crisis first, including TGI Angelenos, immigrant family, and low-income community members. When someone is evicted, they aren't just losing a place to live. They're losing safety, access to care, and the basic conditions needed to survive. Programs like the Eviction Defense Program, the ULA Homelessness Prevention Program, and the broader Stay House LA ecosystem are some of the strongest tools we have to interrupt that pipeline. Stay House LA has shown what it is possible when the city, legal service providers, and community-based organizations work together to keep people in their homes. That same collaborative approach is essential here if these protections are going to reach tenants who face the steepest barriers to staying housed: TGI renters, immigrant households, and low-income tenants across Los Angeles. Housing is a foundation for every other form of stability. When we strengthen eviction defense and prevention, we strengthen the entire ecosystem for safety for our communities. For general public comment, housing is the strongest determinant of health and well-being for any person. But for TGI people, it is often the line between survival and crisis. When TGI people are pushed into homelessness, they face dramatically higher risk of violence, exploitation, and being forced into unsafe situations just to meet basic needs. Many are denied shelter beds altogether or placed in environments where they are targeted and harmed. These are not isolated incidents. They are predictable outcomes of a system that has never invested in TGI safety or stability. And these local realities are being intensified by escalating federal attacks on marginalized communities, including immigrants, LGBTQ+ people, and especially TGI people. National politics and rhetoric are creating more fear, more instability, and more barriers to safety for every other community already vulnerable to homelessness. This is why the TGI Wellness and Equity Initiative is so urgent. It is a community design plan that builds the long-term infrastructure our communities need to stay housed, stay healthy, and stay connected to care. As we move into budget season, we are looking for the Budget and Finance Committee to uplift this initiative as a motion and bring it before the Council on March 27th. Our communities cannot continue surviving crisis to crisis. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Barbara Schultz. I'm the Director of Housing Justice with Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles. A year ago, you approved a 5-year contract for Stay Housed LA. Since then, the city has set numerous hoops, all of which we have jumped through successfully. We went through the RFP process. We were recommended by the Housing Department for the RFP, and yet here we are again on the brink of losing services. Now, I hear that some in the city are upset that LAFLA and some of our other partners also occasionally file lawsuits against the city. The city's funding of Stay Housed LA in no way influences LAFLA litigation and certainly does not pay for it. Nor should LAFLA's litigation in any way influence the city's funding of Stay Housed LA. We are not here because Stay Housed LA is a poor performer. We are doing excellent work. We have provided over legal assistance to 24,000 tenants. About 6,000 of those have been represented in court. And yet here we are. If this contract doesn't get approved today, this afternoon, we will have to start telling City of LA tenants that we can't represent you. So please approve this contract and let us continue to provide the excellent services we have been providing for 5 years. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Hello, I'm Reverend Ray Huang, and I'm a single mother of 2 girls who have struggled ourselves to stay housed in one of the most expensive cities in the world. I'm also a community organizer and a pastor here in Los Angeles who gets calls weekly by tenants who are being harassed by their landlord, living with mold, rats, cockroaches, and more, without heat or air conditioning or water, and again, being pushed out of their homes so their landlord can abuse laws such as the Ellis Act to raise the rent just to make a profit. This last week, I received 2 calls from a young entertainment worker and Pastor Deborah from South LA, both who became unhoused because they did not know their rights and they did not have the support they needed. This delay in this contract renewal is not an administrative decision. It is a political act, an immoral action, and for many, a life or death choice that you have the opportunity to change. The City Council has stated over and over again that you aim to fix our housing crisis, but your actions have shown otherwise. Angelinos have stepped up.
Next speaker.
And it's now you join them.
Yeah, she didn't.
Me llamo Joana Valenzuela y llevo casi un año trabajando en Winnie's Nicher en el distrito número 5.
My name
Estoy
is
aquí,
Joana Valenzuela. I've been working in Wiener-Schnitzel. ¿En qué distrito, perdón?
estoy aquí para pedir que aprueben urgentemente la ordenanza de trabajo justo en la comida rápida.
I am here to ask that you approve the fast food fair work ordinance for fast food workers.
Donde trabajo en Winnie's Nicher, si llueve afuera, también llueve en la cocina.
Where I work in Wiener-Schnitzel, once it rains outside, it also rains inside in the kitchen.
Mis compañeros de trabajo me dijeron que era un problema que la gerencia conocía desde hace años.
And my coworkers said that it's a problem that management has known about for many years.
Pero lo ignoraban y empeoraba año tras año.
However, they would ignore it, and it would get worse year after year.
Mi conciencia no me permitía ignorarlo. Temía que un compañero se electrocutara o que un cliente se enfermara por comer comida contaminada.
But my conscience could not be clear of this. I was scared that one of my coworkers would either get electrocuted or one of the customers would get sick from eating contaminated food.
Cuando lo reporté a la unión, los gerentes me cortaron las horas en vez de arreglar el techo. Imagino que es porque es más barato silenciar a los trabajadores que reparar un techo.
And when I reported to management, they cut my hours instead of fixing the roof. I think it's cheaper to fix the roof than to silence the workers.
Pero mientras siguen operando, nos han puesto a todos los trabajadores y clientes en peligro de muchas maneras diferentes, todas al mismo tiempo.
But while they kept working and without fixing the roof, they have put all my coworkers and the clients and the clientele in dangerous situations without any improvements.
Tenemos que poner fin a ese abuso de nuestros derechos y por favor apoyemos la ordenanza de trabajo justo en la comida rápida sin más demora y por favor apoyen el State House permanente.
We need to put an end to this and we need to approve the fast food fair work ordinance and also please support the program for Stay House delay.
Thank you.
Good morning, Speaker. Which items would you like to speak on?
Buenos días, estoy aquí para dar un comentario público. Me llamo Fernando y trabajo en el Wiener-Schnitzel en el Distrito 5.
Hello, my name is Fernando. For public comment, I work in District 5, Wiener-Schnitzel.
Estoy aquí porque necesitamos que la ordenanza de trabajo justo en la comida rápida se apruebe urgentemente y sin más demora.
We are here because I need the fast food fair work ordinance to be approved without further delay.
Con demasiada frecuencia nuestros jefes abusan de nuestros derechos y para ganar dinero extra.
With high frequency, our bosses abuse our rights so that they can profit.
Donde trabajo durante años hemos tenido que usar cubetas cada vez que llueve porque no se ha reparado el techo.
For all the years that I've been working, we needed to use covers for a roof that keeps leaking and it has not been repaired.
Después de que mis compañeros y yo los denunciáramos, nos redujeron las horas.
After me and my coworkers reported this incident, they cut our hours.
No fue hasta que denunciamos nuestros derechos que nos las devolvieran.
And it wasn't until we announced our rights that they gave it back to us.
Esto no está bien, nuestros derechos deben ser respetados, existen para proteger tanto a los trabajadores.
This is not okay. Our rights deserve to be respected, and they exist to protect the workers.
Así como los consumidores trabajemos juntos para asegurarnos de que se cumplan.
Like the consumers, we should all work together to make sure that our rights are still being respected.
Apoyen la ordenanza de trabajo justo en la comida rápida y que apoyen a State House permanente.
Please support the fast food fair work ordinance and also support Stay House Delay.
Okay, gracias.
All right, thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Cynthia Gonzalez. I'm a program manager for Eastside Leads, part of the State House Delay program. I've been here since its inception, have been able to witness firsthand thousands and thousands of people that have been able to get supported by this program. And yet here we are, right? A lot of you guys who ran for your offices claimed one thing: to support tenants, to support Los Angeles, to tackle on the housing crisis. Yet here we are having to constantly jump through bureaucratic obstacles while the world is burning. I cannot urge, or I cannot tell you guys that, or I think everyone has at this point told every single one of you and your offices why it's so important to vote for today, why it's so important to continue these services. And I ask you guys one more time, pass this now. Thank you.
My name is Elena Pop, and I am the Executive Director of the Eviction Defense Network. My pronouns are she, they. After last week's postponement, I had to issue a possible furlough notice. The impact on my staff of that notice is tremendous, and yet they are bravely continuing to work. I need to report to them today that their jobs are safe. Please approve the contract and no further postponements. Now, also ask you to please not require us to provide information in the reporting that will allow scammers to pull the records. A $5 clipboard, a plastic badge, and a copy of a summons and complaint obtained by an unscrupulous con artist is all they need to get thousands and thousands of dollars out of unsuspecting families in small increments at a time. In 1991, the state legislature passed a law meant to curb this type of fraudulent predatory behavior. That law now also protects tenants from being blacklisted from future housing. If State House LA were required to provide addresses, premises addresses, and case numbers, that information could be used to secure copies of court files. By asking us to provide premises address and court case numbers, you are putting us in a position of risking our licenses because we are then not meeting our ethical obligations. In the last 19 seconds, I would want you all to know that the Eviction Defense Network does not turn anyone away. If you send one of your constituents to our office by 8:45 any morning, we will make sure that they are helped. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Good morning, council members. What are we doing? My name is Mike Dennis. I'm with the Liberty Hill Foundation. We work in the State House LA program. Angelino's trust in local government and its ability to administer public programs is at an all-time low. One of the bright spots in the city of LA is the administration of the State House LA program over the last 5 years. And it even has its own revenue source that has been given to you by voters to be managed properly. But that's not what is happening. The city has sat on these resources, delayed contracts, and forced our partners to reapply through yet another competitive bidding process. Despite all the delays, State House LA was still selected as the best bidder because of the demonstrated ability to prevent homelessness. Now we're being told this is not good enough. We need you to act now and implement State House LA's program. I cannot express to you enough how difficult this work is for everyone involved and to constantly move the goalposts is untenable for our partners and the people that we serve. Disruptions in services is only going to hurt the most vulnerable people in the city and undo all the progress that we've helped you achieve. Imagine a world where programs are enabled to give poor Angelenos the resources that they need in a timely manner without frivolous interruption. Please accept this award. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, Council. So I'm here again just reminding you, and I will be until I'm no longer on this earth. Scientology is a cult. It's infiltrated Los Angeles City over the last 75 years, and it has to be undone. I'm here to do that. We are the children that were born and raised in this cult, and we are here to speak about the crimes, whether we get harassed, whether we get stalked, whether we get our jobs lost, etc. So if you guys as the city can help the people that are bringing and exposing the cult of Scientology, please talk about the infiltration that has happened. I know there are some people in city councils and boards, neighborhood councils, where they have Scientology family members infiltrated on the board. So please speak up and talk about it. Talk about the infiltration you've had. I also gave you all these pamphlets that have all of the front groups of Scientology. Please do not associate with them and be aware of this scam. Thank you.
Carlos Aguilar with Coalition for Economic Survival. In the past 5 years, Angelenos have faced a crippling pandemic, devastating fires, political persecution, and now an expanding war. But what has been a beacon of light in the darkness and stability amidst the chaos has been Stay Housed LA. Born in 2020 with over a dozen community-based organizations and legal service providers, proud members like CES have worked tirelessly to support this over 64% of renter population in this city. We've reached over 2 million people through support calls, text, door-to-door outreach, providing much-needed human contact in the time of most need. We provided over 20,000 tenants with limited legal services. We've hosted over 1,000 tenant education workshops in multiple languages. We do all this and more to provide relief and support and keep all renters in LA housed. We cannot risk losing this program at the time of its greatest need. Let's keep this light shining brightly. We urge you to support the renewal of Stay Housed LA. Thank you.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Rosa Cruz.
Good morning, my name is Rosa
Chirla.
Cruz. I am a member of Chirla.
El propietario nos incrementó el alquiler durante el COVID, anteriormente del COVID y durante el COVID,
The
a pesar
landlord
que era
increased our rent during
ilegal.
COVID illegally.
El propietario nos dio una notificación de desalojo muy repentinamente.
And the landlord gave us an eviction notice all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Me dijo que si no lo firmaba, ella iba a llamar a las autoridades.
She said if I didn't sign this, she would be calling the authorities.
Me quedé en shock porque ya no sabía qué hacer y no tenía ninguna ayuda de abogado.
I was in shock. I didn't know what to do, and I had no legal assistance.
Gracias a la ayuda que recibí de State House LA,
Thanks to the help I received from Stay Housed LA,
pude tener esa ayuda de abogado gratis.
I was able to obtain free legal representation.
Le hago un llamado a mi concejal Mónica Rodríguez
I'm calling out especially my council member, Monica Rodriguez.
No podemos esperar más.
We can no longer wait.
Necesitamos que vote hoy mismo en los contratos.
We need you to vote today on these contracts.
Si no lo hace, no tendremos más ayuda legal.
If you don't do so, we will no longer have legal assistance.
Son tiempos difíciles para la comunidad indocumentada.
These are very difficult times for the undocumented community
aquí en Los Ángeles.
Here in LA.
Estos programas nos mantienen en casa, no empeoren la situación donde haya más gente fuera de casa.
These programs Let us stay home. Please don't make the homeless crisis worse than it is.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Luke McDonald, and I'm here to let you guys know that Stay Housed LA is an essential program for tenants. As an organizer and education lead at Power, I see firsthand how in the dark the average tenant is about their rights. And right now we're in the middle of a housing crisis, obviously, and if anything, you all need to work with us to support this programming. And we're wasting a lot of time and energy coming out here repeatedly. This whole contract saga has been really chaotic, and myself and my incredible colleagues are just trying to do our job, educating tenants, upholding justice, and keeping LA a great place to live for everyone. So yeah, please allow us to keep doing this. Also, I'd like to ask y'all to stop amending and weakening ULA without analyzing the impact. I'd really appreciate that. Yeah, so thank you.
Before the next speaker begins, I'll call up a few more names. Aaron Collins,
That is not my
Nancy
name.
Villanueva,
That is not
Diego
my name.
Cartagena, and
Not my
Delvin
name.
Enriquez.
Good morning, Speaker. Which items would you like to speak on
My
today?
name is Olivia Irene Fitzsimmons, and I'm speaking to the Los Angeles City Council that I have an address from family of personal property, 5407 Kaiser Road, Sawyer, Michigan, 49125, and I'm calling on the lawsuit status of the withholding and the kidnapping of Orvin Ali Avant by the Department of Children and Family Services, and that I wrote a statement in front of a supervisor that the supervisor signed, stating that the state of California will pay for every day that he is withheld from me, his mother, Orvin Ali Avant. I mean, Olivia Irene Fitzsimmons, not Orvin Ali Avant. I'm also stating that 210 Courthouse had hired an attorney that stated not my name, but the mother, which means that anyone representing Orvin Ali Avant was his mother. There was no blood in the room, and they have failed to let me know how my son is doing. DCFS had over 5,600 children missing, all of them being bodies thrown. I have sent the President of the United States, 2 minor penises, a skull head, skin of a human. It's not appropriate, but it is honest. Skin of a human with a belly button, as well as other things that show blood evidence in murders
Speaker,
in the
could
state
you
of
stay on the
California.
topic, please?
So I do request
Next
that the
speaker,
city
please.
ensures that you know.
Is she out of time? Speaker, you're out of time. Next speaker, please.
Oh, my stuff's over there. Yeah, you can go back. Oh. Thank you.
Next speaker, please. Good morning. Which items would you like to speak on today?
Buenos días, mi nombre es Dominga Solórzano
Good morning, my name is Dominga Solórzano.
y voy a hacer un comentario general, por favor, gracias.
I'd like to make a general public comment, please. Thank you.
Necesito
You have 1 minute?
interpretación,
Tiene un minuto.
por favor, gracias.
I need interpretation, please. Thank you.
Sí, mi nombre es Dominga Solórzano y soy miembro de ACE del Distrito 9.
My name is Dominga Solórzano. I'm a member of ACE from the 9th District.
Sí, buenos días. Estoy aquí para decir que el programa Quédate en Casa es muy importante para mí y más familias.
I'm here to say that Stay Housed LA is a very important program, not just for myself, but for many other families.
Yo he aprendido mis derechos como inquilino.
I've learned my rights as a tenant.
Veo muy seguido clínicas en persona en las comunidades donde llego mucha gente preocupada por su vivienda.
I often see many people attend community clinics and they are very worried about their housing situation.
Si no apoyan este programa, mucha gente quedará desamparada.
If you don't support this program, there will be many people left unhoused.
Por favor, yo y mi familia somos de bajos recursos y
aún así pagamos impuestos y a mí me impacta mucho ver gente en la calle. Por
Please,
favor,
my
se les
family
pide.
and I are low income, and it really hurts me to see these people on the streets, even though we still pay taxes.
Y yo y mi familia no queremos ser una más en la calle, por favor, durmiendo en la calle, eso sí me va a doler mucho el alma. Por favor, se les pide a todos, gracias.
My family and I, we don't want to be just another family on the street. That would hurt my soul so much. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Scott. I'm an eviction defense attorney with the California Center for Movement Legal Services. I'm also a resident in Council District 13. Shout out to Ugo. And once again, I'm here before this body speaking about the utmost importance of continuing funding for Stay Housed LA and doing so with immediacy. Stay Housed LA funds the work that my office does, which is to provide crucial pro bono legal representation to low-income tenants in the city of LA. This program was passed during a wave of evictions during the pandemic. That wave has not ceased. It is ongoing. It has gotten worse. Everyone involved in this work has seen tenants who have paid their rent and are nevertheless facing non-payment cases anyways due to unscrupulous landlords. And landlords are able to get away with this in general because they know that most tenants, almost all tenants, even now, do not receive legal representation. Unrepresented tenants essentially have no chance, or very little chance, at defending themselves in court. They face hostile and dismissive judges and cruel trickery from landlord attorneys every day. The legal system is difficult enough to navigate but as it is, especially with the quick turnaround for unlawful detainer cases, and the stats back this up. The difference in outcomes between represented and unrepresented tenants is stark and undeniable. Stay Housed LA is the only program that somewhat balances out the playing field. Everyone doing this work knows countless tenants who, were it not for their representation, would be on the streets, would have moved out of the city or the state or into family members' relatives' homes, crowding and causing overcrowding. I also wanted to sort of talk about the importance of the rental assistance program, which serves a vital social good, which is to give people who fall behind on the rent at no fault of their own a chance to dig themselves out of the hole and stay in their current homes and their communities, to keep and people that make and build this city into what it is in our city, to support them, essentially. Any further delay in funding Stay Housed LA means that more people end up on the street, and our communities continue to gentrify and diversity in the city goes away. Thank you. All right.
Good morning, honorable council members. My name is Diego Cartagena with Bethzetic Legal Services, a member of the Stay Housed LA Coalition. We are an agency that works with over 1,000 volunteers from law firms such as Gibson Dunn, Skadden Arps, Latham, and O'Melveny, and we, like our sibling organizations, each year conduct an annual single audit imposed by federal grant requirements, and we all come through with shining colors. We also hold the highest ethical standards, including client confidentiality, the same standards that the city attorney applies when representing the council. If the today's contract is not approved, Stay Housed LA will be unable to represent any more tenants in eviction court, and services for tenants will cease on March 31st. That means for each month Stay Housed LA does not have a contract, approximately 160 tenants will not be represented in eviction proceedings. 575 tenants will not receive limited legal assistance. 260 answers will not be filed. Hundreds and thousands of dollars in rental assistance will not be dispersed. 100 workshops will be canceled for over 1,000 tenants, and 2,000 monthly tenant navigation services will cease. This on a day when the LA Times has reported a decrease in the number of unhoused individuals across LA County who lost their lives. One life, as the article notes, is one too many. We at Bethzetic have been witness to at least one individual who did not receive legal services in time, and as a result died because he had to sleep in his car on a cold, rainy night. We cannot let that happen in Los Angeles, and we urge the City Council to please pass the Stay Housed LA contract. Thank you.
Malos días porque no se puede decir buenos. Mi nombre es Delvin Enríquez. Soy miembro de SAGE. Estoy aquí en miembro de mi comunidad.
My name is Delby. Perdón, ¿cómo se apellida, señora?
Delvin Enríquez.
My name is Delvin Enriquez. I wish I could say good morning, but I will have to say bad morning. I am a member of Sage, and I am here on behalf of the community.
Por muchos que no pudieron venir y muchos motivos que no cambien la medida ULA.
I'm here for those of us that couldn't attend today and for those that don't want to change Measure ULA.
Porque los fondos son utilizados en programas como derecho de un abogado gratis.
These funds are used for services like free legal assistance.
ULA me dio 7,728.25 centavos para pagar mi renta.
ULA helped me with more than $7,000 in rental assistance.
Me dieron un abogado gratis.
They gave me a free attorney.
Y por eso me quedé un poco más en el apartamento.
And this is the reason why I was able to stay housed just a bit longer.
El voto que se logró no lo lograron ustedes.
The vote that was made wasn't done by you.
Yo anduve casa por casa para recaudar fondos para este programa.
I was knocking door to door to raise funds for this program.
Es dinero del contribuyente para el contribuyente.
This money is for the contributors.
No vengan ustedes como concejales a querer hacer algo que ya está hecho por nosotros.
Don't come as council members to try to do something that's already been done by us.
Queremos que todo lo que pertenece al programa ULA
We want everything that belongs to ULA
sea del pueblo y para el pueblo.
remain and be for the people, by the people.
Es nuestro.
It's ours.
Que muchas personas vengan a la calle.
That so many people go to the streets.
Si quitan estos programas de ULA State House.
So many people will go to the streets if you take away this program of ULA Stay Housed.
Yo vivo en la calle 4 años y a mí nadie me ha ayudado.
I've lived on the street for 4 years and I have received no assistance from anyone.
Estuve en Hopi 3 años y el día que le dije dónde está mi apartamento,
I was at Hopi for 3 years and when I asked where my apartment was,
me quitaron el apartamento y me echaron en la calle como un perro.
they evicted me from my place and sent me to the street like a dog.
Ese fue el día más triste de mi vida porque fue mi día de mi cumpleaños.
That was the worst day of my life also because it was my birthday.
Que vivan los abogados gratis, que viva ULA, que viva el pueblo.
Long live free attorneys, long live ULA, and long live the people.
No a la calle. Muchas gracias por escucharme.
Say no to being on the streets. Thank you for listening to me.
Okay, I'm going to start with number 1, a full license, alcohol license for 2222 East Damon Street. Now, if it was 2222 East Smoke and Scan Street, that'd be okay, because I would trust it. But this one looks really weird to me. Like, I tried to look further into it. The place looks like a vacant, like industrial. It's in an industrial area, lots of graffiti. And it's run by a trust, which means you can't sue if something goes wrong. So, and the city's very confusing in how they put the information out. So if they could put more info out, that'd be great. Like I said, if it was 2222 East Smoke and Scan Street, I wouldn't have the same questions. The next one is about the tree trimming. Okay, I'm all for the tree trimming. It seems like the city never has enough money for the tree trimmings, at least back in the day. I don't know if that's starting to change. But I would like to also bring attention to an area that needs work. It's in North Hollywood. It's in the median that Scientology adopted, that they promised the neighborhood councils that they were going to maintain and keep nice, and they haven't done that. So since you're kind of in the area there, Sherman Way, if you could just drive down to where Tahunga and Lankershim and Burbank meet, right near the North Hollywood org, and clean up that horrendous-looking area, since they, like usual, lie and say they're going to keep it up, and they have not. When it comes to the Dodgers, I'm a Dodgers fan. I think Smoke and Scan's a Dodgers fan. I mean, my real team, though, is the Phillies. They're my number 1. But my thing is, like, we're so broke, right? We can't afford anything. Why can't the Dodgers pay for what the Dodgers need for their stuff? Or, you know, I'm sorry, I just feel like they get a lot of money, right? They're, you know, like, if they can pay, like, billions of dollars to their players, why can't they just pay for a parade? And, like, I would love to see other, just different entities help us deal with what needs to be done. And, you know, because it seems like you're never going to be able to get us to where we can actually have good and safe streets and sidewalks for everyone. The last one is for the appointment for Martin for Housing Solutions. Okay, yes, we need housing, people. I just want him to know, I just want to make sure that he is aware of the housing situations and problems with Scientology, especially people in their R1 visas where they are brought here under, and they have to do religious work, but they are often given other tasks that are not religious work, and they take away their documents. So, and they are housing them, possibly against their will at that point. So I would like him to look into that. Okay, for my 1 minute. Okay. Good morning, and shout out to Smoke and Scan, and to you guys. I'm here because I want to continue what I was saying about the R1 visas. An entity can bring in people, okay, that sign a billion-year contract and pay them $47 a week for 100 hours of work a week, but it has to be religious work, okay? They can't be sitting here doing their security and doing their plumbing and painting and doing all kinds of selling books. They're not allowed to do that. Okay, but you see it all the time. They're not allowed to be making movies, and they're filming and all this stuff. They have to be doing religious work. Otherwise, an entity is using a religious visa program in the guise of, I call that labor trafficking. I allege that. Okay, I allege that that is abusing the system to get workers for free, basically, because I consider 47, because you're lucky if you get 47. A lot of times they don't even get that. Why is that allowed?
Next speaker, please.
Hola, mi nombre es Arnulfo. Soy miembro de ACE y vivo en el Distrito 9.
Hello, my name is Arnulfo. I am a member of ACE and I live in District 9.
Quiero compartir mi experiencia con el programa Stay House LA desde mi perspectiva.
I would like to share my experience from the Stay House LA program from my perspective.
Durante la pandemia pasamos por un momento difícil
During COVID, we went through a difficult moment.
sobre un desalojo del cual me involucré con la asociación ACE.
During an eviction, which I became involved with the organization known as ACE.
Y Stay House me brindó asesoría legal.
And Stay House LA provided me with legal assistance.
Si no estuviera Stay House, estuviéramos nosotros desalojados, mis 5 hijos y yo.
Without the program from Stay House LA, we would be evicted, me and my 5 children.
Me gustaría que apoyaran ustedes a este programa porque este programa ayuda con
I would like you to support this program because this program helps
asesoría legal
with legal representation
y muchos programas informativos.
and many other informative programs.
Es todo, gracias.
That is it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christina Boyer. I'm an attorney at Public Counsel. I live in District 5. I'm asking you to continue to invest in the Stay Housed LA program today and vote yes on item 5 to ensure the program has no lapse in services when it expires on March 31st. In April of last year, our contract was approved for execution. In June of last year, the contract execution was delayed, an RFP was issued, splitting the contract into 4 separate contracts. In October, the RFP process was paused. We requested a necessary extension to ensure tenants continued to receive legal representation and rental assistance. Asked for 5 months, received 2. We are now less than 1 month away from the expiration of our contract extension. We went through a rigorous RFP process, scored highly, and rewarded the contracts. It will take a few weeks to fully execute the contracts, leaving tenants vulnerable to a lapse in services. If the city doesn't execute these contracts, Stay Housed LA will be unable to represent any more tenants in eviction court, and all services for tenants will cease March 31st. For each month Stay Housed LA does not have a contract, approximately 160 tenants will not be represented in evictions, 575 tenants will not receive limited legal assistance, 260 answers will not be filed, hundreds and thousands of dollars in rental assistance will not be dispersed, 100 workshops will be canceled for over 1,000 tenants, and 2,000 monthly tenant navigation services will cease. Additionally, the only reason the city gets a waiver from using La Casa funds is because Stay Housed LA exists. If Stay Housed LA goes away, the city will no longer have a basis for that waiver. Finally, please stop trying to amend ULA, do a thorough analysis of the impact that lowering funds will have on all ULA programs before any amendment talks. We need to keep the tenants of this city housed. Please execute these contracts, keep ULA intact. Thank you.
All right, thumbs up. Mr. City Attorney, anything to report out of closed session? Oh, sorry, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you. Blumenfield, Harris, Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Gerardo, Lee, McCosker, Nazarian, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky, 13 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, Mr. City Attorney, anything to report out of closed session?
There's nothing to report coming out of closed session.
All right, Madam Clerk, what's before us?
Item number 5 is before council. It contains 5 amendments.
All right, we can go through these amendments in the order that is appropriate.
Thank you. Before council is motion 5E, Harris, Dawson, Blumenfield.
All right. Madam City Attorney, one statement before we start taking votes.
Thank you, Council President. I want to state for the record what is and is not at stake here. There is absolutely no chance that this city's tenant eviction defense program or right to counsel program is in any jeopardy. The issues raised have nothing to do with it in the sense that the tenants and the lawyers doing this work will continue. What is at stake is how it is administered and whether we are handing $177 million in a block grant to specific providers.
Thank you. All right. Any discussion on 5E, members? All right. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right. What's next?
Next is amending motion 5D, Harris, Dawson, Gerardo.
All right. 5D is in dance. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right. Before we go to our next amendment, I will call on Mr. Blumenfield.
We're going to have one more amendment coming.
Okay.
Working with the city attorney.
All right. So Mr. Blumenfield will have an amendment. Councilmember Rahman?
I just had a question, which is, actually, let me hold on that for 1 second.
All right. Do we need a recess, folks? All right. So we're going to take a literally 5 minute recess. 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Madam Clerk, if we can return to the regular meeting, if you can call the roll.
Blumenfield, Harris, Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Gerardo, Lee, McCosker, Nazarian, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky, 13 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, and we are on item 5. We have disposed of and affirmed amendments E as in elephant and D as in dance. I believe Mr. Blumenfield is going to put forward an additional amendment.
In fact, I can ask the city attorney to read that amendment into the record.
City Attorney?
Yes, the amendment relates to additional contract language, which I will read. Notwithstanding any other provision of this agreement, each contractor and subcontractor is required to provide to the city attorney the information requested or required under Section 608 or Exhibit G of contract number C138260 as amended and restated on or before April 15th, 2026, provided any information regarding documentation status shall be redacted and deleted, and the names of each tenant may be represented by initials only. The contract funding will terminate if the information is not provided. The city attorney is requested to include provisions for monthly and quarterly reports, invoicing, and data, and to include language terminating or adjusting the funding automatically if ULA funds are no longer available for the contract for any reason.
Is there a second to that motion?
Seconded by Councilmember Rodriguez. All right, Councilmember Rodriguez.
I think generally, I think that amendment actually captures, I was, I know we're having conversations around potential amendments going forward. So I wanted to propose that there was no lump sum that was advanced. So instruct, and so city attorney, you can help me figure this out, how to best say this, and you can understand the spirit of what I'm going for. That there's no lump sum distribution pending any amendments to ULA affecting the funding, and that, again, I think you captured it in this amendment, but there will be a suspension of distribution pending full compliance with the reporting requirements.
Okay, so that's, we have an amendment on the floor from Councilmember Rodriguez. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Yaroslavsky. And I have comments by Councilmember Hernandez. Council District 1.
Yes, thank you. I was discussing with my colleague if he would be open to that last part, which I think I'm not comfortable with. Is there no way that we could add a ramp down if let's say the voters change it, if the state changes it, but to say that it would be cut off immediately, that could potentially leave hundreds of people in limbo that are in the middle of legal proceedings. And so that's why I would say if there's gonna be changes, if ULA is gonna go, if it's gonna stop, then I would like to see if we could do a ramp down period, maybe see if there's other city resources when we come to that point. But to say that it would be terminated automatically, that's...
Well, a couple things. I understand your discomfort, I think, and appreciate it and agree with you. But I think that phrase is important because there is a ballot measure in the state of California on the way to certification that would not only end ULA, but it would require the city to pay back a good portion of what we've already collected. So in that case, the city wouldn't have a choice. It wouldn't be up to us on how to do it. So that's why I think that language is important. Otherwise, if there's another change that we initiate, then we can work that ramp down into what we initiate. We would still have control of that. But if the state does it, we don't.
Understood, but the state creates the program, but eviction defense, we do eviction. We'll continue to need to do eviction defense. And if we know that this ballot initiative is in the ether, why can't we just put language to say that we would ramp down or explore other funding options or explore what we need to do to not not to end eviction support or protection?
How to preserve the services? Yeah.
Yes.
Councilmember Blumenfield.
Yeah, no, and I certainly agree with you. We don't want the services to be cut off immediately. But I think if it ends, it depends on how it were to end, and if there's money in the till, there's still ULA money, then that would be a very long ramp down window. It's only the question of if it ends and then the general fund is on the hook, that's when we really don't have any choices because that's every other program of the city. So that's would be if we, in the unlikely event that we have to pay the money back, that's when we're really in a rock and a hard place. But if it were to end or change, there's still a lot of money there. So it would be a very, we as a council would have the ability to have a very soft landing.
Then why can't we just put that in writing if that's the case?
I think that's what we're saying, right? I mean, we're protecting the general fund.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you want to tweak it, I'm certainly open to tweaks. The goal, I think, that we discussed with city attorney and everything else is well, I think we didn't discuss this directly, but the goal is to protect the general fund. And so that if there is a change, that it doesn't automatically trigger a huge liability on the general fund. But in as much as there's money in ULA, we want that money to be spent and spent on eviction defense as much as possible.
Yeah, yes, and that's not the issue for me. What I'm just saying is, and it sounds like you're amenable to it, is just adding language that we would ramp down the program so that we don't have to lean on general funds or that we could explore other funding options. What I don't want to happen is that we will be on a cliff. Like, we know that we might be walking to a cliff and not appropriately prepare for that cliff, which would leave hundreds of people in limbo in the middle of their legal cases. That's their representation. That's all I'm asking, is if your language removes the immediate termination and we put ramp down.
Mr. Blumenfield, while you're thinking about that, I got Councilmember Rahman and Councilmember Rodriguez.
I would just underscore what Councilmember Hernandez is saying. For any changes, whether it is, whatever it is will come through ballot measures, we will have advance notice. I think what Councilmember Hernandez is doing rightly is to make sure that we're planning for potential losses of funding appropriately so that we're not harming any residents. And I think any language that can just include that is good to include.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
This is a contract language, and you're getting into a whole philosophical conversation. This is a contract, and the contract is supposed to be cut and dry, that if the money is redacted, that there is no, we don't have the money. The source of the funds, if it is then cut off, then as a body, we have to prioritize how we identify these additional resources as a tenet of our priorities. But as a budgetary matter and conversation, this would now be in the context of a broader budgetary conversation. So I have a problem enshrining that kind of language in a contract, because that is further obligating us as a city to our general fund without any identified source of funds. You're taking we have a source of funds in ULA that says that we can create this program, and we are entering into a contract, and what we are doing is building in protections on this contract language that says we are going to get documentation, compliance, all of this stuff. So it's not oh, well, we want to ramp down, no. If this money ceases, this is what we have. Like, if we as a body want to establish in some type of resolution that we commit and we're going to raise the flag, that's separate. This is a contract, and a contract is cut and dry to say what the expectations are, what the obligations are. When this money ceases, we can't continue to obligate ourselves as a city to fund something that we don't have a source of funds to provide this service for. And that's, I have a very big concern. If you want to make a commitment as a council, okay, cool. Yes, we want to commit to always protecting eviction defense, and okay, cool. But that is not enshrined in a contract. That's not okay. I'm not okay with that amendment.
Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Irregardless of all this debating of going back and forth about, how do we refine this so that we can pull stop money, make sure that we're protecting the city, I would hope that we look at this and kind of take a look at the uncomfortableness I have that the transparency requirements in these contracts does not meet, when I look at them, does not meet the level of what we as a body should be requiring from organizations that we are giving money to. And so just on that level alone, I hope you take a look at this and feel, if you feel that the transparency requirements of these contracts moving forward are at the level of what you believe they should be, okay, but I for one, do not feel comfortable with it.
All right, Councilmember Blumenfield and Hernandez are still huddling. In that time, I'm going to give him time to get back to his seat and call on Mr. McCosker.
And we have a compromise here.
Well, before you get to your compromise, I think Mr. McCosker's point is important.
I didn't mean to create such drama. Are we going to circulate the language? I mean,
So we can see it?
I'm hearing what its intent is. I'm hearing a discussion back and forth about what it might be or what it could be. I would like to see the language before we act.
Okay. All right, Mr. Blumenfield?
Great, and Councilmember Hernandez and I, we're on the same page. We're just trying to get the right language, and we thought maybe adding to the language that says you can terminate per, if this happens, and then just add the language subject to council approval, and a process.
So, yeah, I would say if any changes are made, that the contract can be terminated, or the city could find additional funds. What is the last part?
Well, it can be terminated subject to council approval, or the city can find additional funds to keep
alternate
it going.
funds. Yeah.
Right, which of course is our option, but we can enshrine that into
You could
the-
put it in.
into
All right, so we need to get that language typed up. Madam Clerk, do Robert's Rule of Order allow us to take up the other amendments while this one is?
No, according to the order, we should start with 5F now.
All right, so we will await 5F appearing in writing before all the members. Councilmember McCosker.
To supersede the rules and go to the other amendments.
There's this motion and a second to supersede
Second.
the rules.
Seconded by Councilmember Roman.
All right, we need to call a vote on that, or can it be done without objection? Mr. Nazarian, point of clarification.
Just given the conversation that council members Blumenfield and Hernandez are having, I'm just wondering if you're open also to making the language vague enough so that if the time comes that we do need to take action, we can also bifurcate between if one agency is providing data and the other one is not, then we can continue working with the ones that do provide the data and dismiss the ones that do not provide the data. I don't mean to complicate this, but I just want to make sure we have as much of the upper hand and the ability to make decisions and have the nimbleness needed to be able to continue providing the services without jeopardizing.
I'm sorry to complicate this, but point of order, a motion to suspend the rules has no debate. Can we just vote to suspend the rules?
Yeah, do we need a vote or can be done?
Yes, there is a motion to suspend the rules before council. The required vote is 10.
Requires a vote. All right, let's open the roll on suspension of the rules, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, the rules are suspended.
Thank you. So then if the council would like to move on to 5C
All right,
and hold 5F on the desk.
we will hold 5F on the desk. I believe it's circulating now. So if you're going to have edits or wordsmithing of 5F, please be ready after we vote on these next three amendments. All right, Amendment 5C as in cat is before us. So open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes, 1 no.
All right, that takes us to 5B as in boy. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, that takes us to 5A as in apple. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes, 2 noes.
All right, and now we are back to 5F as in freedom. I have the language before me. Does everybody have it? No? All right. Councilmember Rodriguez?
So I don't know if if it was captured in 5F or not, but basically my amendment was to essentially the payments would be distributed upon compliance with the provisions on the reporting, so that it's not a lump sum payment that's being awarded, but rather, you know, like every other contract.
Like the other contracts, yeah.
And so that is an amendment to 5F, Rodriguez-Yaroslavsky. Can be voted on altogether as 5F.
And Mr. Nazarian, your suggestion about removing individual contractors and bifurcating is addressed in 5D as in dance. So I think what you're trying to get at is in that amendment already, just to make it a little easier on the 5F. So are we all square on 5F, Council Members Blumenfield and Hernandez? Or is it still circulating? All right, can we get a signal when this language has been distributed? All right, Mr. Blumenfield, can you tell us the score?
To F, just very minor things. One, remove the quote from when it says conformance with the following quote, it says notwithstanding, just remove that quote. Second, change strike automatically in the last sentence, and change could to may.
All right. One more time.
Okay. These three things I think are minor, but who knows, maybe someone will find a difference. Remove the quote, where it's in the first sentence it says, number one, in substantial conformance with the following, it says, quote, notwithstanding any, the quote is not necessary and it was never ended in the sentence. It's a grammar point. Okay, move that. The second to last sentence reads, the city attorney requested to include provision for monthly and quarterly reports, invoicing and data to include language terminating, adjusting the funding, and just strike the word automatically, just so it reads, terminating or adjusting the funding if ULA funds are no longer available for the contract. And then the final change is again pure grammar, which is termination is subject to the council approval, and the council, instead of could find alternatives, may find alternative funds.
All right.
Those would be the minor changes to that amendment.
So I'm going to prepare everybody for a vote on 5F as in freedom. Councilmember Rahman.
Can I just ask a question here about the timeline? April 15th, 2026 being a hard and fast deadline, if there's a possibility that it can be mutually, you know, if our contractor or subcontractor is saying we will provide the information, but there's a delay in providing it, does this mean that if it's not provided by April 15th, then this is automatically done? I just want to provide some cushion for.
Councilmember Blumenfield?
It's fine to me. I mean, I'll ask the city attorney for their advice on that, but should honor before April 15th or as mutually decided or something to that effect?
Sure.
I think that would just enable us to make sure that we're getting, providing for information to be provided.
And mutually, so that means we have to
Mutually.
sign off on it.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
April 15th or mutually decided. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yeah, my only concern with all of this is, first of all, they should have all this documentation and be able to provide it immediately. And frankly, our graffiti abatement contractors are required to do more documentation to get paid. So I don't understand why the hell we're lamenting this and just writing contracts the way they should. When you're dealing with millions and millions of dollars, why we can't say, if you don't provide the receipts, we're not going to pay you. That's a simple expectation for taxpayer dollars. So I don't understand why we keep trying to massage this. They should have the documentation. They should be providing it. It should be rendered, frankly, immediately before entering a subsequent contract. That's just baseline expectation. That is contract compliance. So I'm just having a hard time with the effort to kind of keep giving a pass on something that I'm like, literally our graffiti abatement contractors are required to provide more documentation in order to get paid. This is kind of a joke. So, you know,
Thank you, Councilor Member Rodriguez. I share that frustration. Law firms have the most capacity to do reporting of almost anybody else we contract with. Correct. And it seems like we have reluctance to have accountability. Councilmember Rahman.
Yeah, and all I wanted to do was just prevent us from getting into a situation where if there was a need for redaction to be provided to 18,000 names, that we are allowing for
time to do it.
Additional time as mutually decided upon, so that we're not in a situation where we're losing these funds because we passed an amendment that didn't allow us the tiniest bit of flexibility to address these issues.
Got it. All right, Mr. Blumenfield.
I'm just trying to land this plane.
Please.
And I don't think there's no harm in saying or mutually agreed upon date. That's mutually agreed upon gives us that flexibility, and we're trying to land it, and I think we're just about there, so I'd say let's
All right,
call
let's
the question.
open the roll on 5F as in freedom.
I'm sorry, just to confirm, so to that amendment, you're adding or mutually agreed upon date after April 15, 2026 in that language?
On or before April 15th, comma, or a mutually agreed upon date.
And then also, if I can request confirmation that Councilmember Rodriguez's motion is to amend 5F, not a separate new motion.
Well, we introduced it as 5G just because it didn't make it in this cut.
Yeah, so we'll come to 5G. The rules are suspended, so we can take a vote on 5F, and then we'll deal with 5G. So open the roll on 5F as in freedom. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, and 5G, Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yes, so 5G very simply says that we're not going, basically you don't front fund a lump sum of advance payments, that distribution shall be paid when required documentation per the contract is submitted, as every other contractor in the city of LA is required.
There's, I just want, your amendment doesn't say this, but I just want to be clear. The one area where upfront funding almost has to happen is on the rental assistance, but your thing is not referring to that. It's only referring to the, got it, okay. Correct. I'm good to go on it. Any other questions or comments on 5G? Councilmember Hernandez.
Just questions and thoughts. When it comes to this around suspending lump sum distribution, is there a way that we can do it for, the contract is for a year, right? That's the process? Because I know that as a city, when it comes to paying out providers, we owe a handful of organizations millions upon millions of dollars for work that they've delivered because of our failed processing and payment system. We don't have enough clerks. So I'm going to be opposed to this because I think it would just create more barriers to getting the money out, as we've seen with many other organizations providing services in the city. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hernandez. We have before us 5G as in green. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
9 ayes, 4 noes.
All right, what's next?
Next is item 5 as amended by 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, 5E with the, 5F with the technical corrections, and now 5G.
All right, let's open the roll on 5 as amended by A through G. So open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes, 1 no.